Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Letter, where we have an important decision to make. Our lizard has peaced out on us.
He gave his opinion.
Three. We've been talking about this for probably the past 10-15 minutes.
Yes.
And no idea what to do because we're like, we don't think either one is going to matter.
Right.
So
We got a coin.
Heads, we burn the letter. Tails, we burn the mansion. What kind of quarter is this? It's a Montana quarter. Is this even real money?
Montana militia?
Yeah.
Did they start their own country? It's a state quarter.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
Tails.
That's Tails. But I just looked at him like, that's not what I expected to see. I wasn't expecting to see a dead.
When was the last time you played with real money?
Because
like literally 80% of all the quarters out there now are the state quarters.
Who uses real money?
I don't know. We apparently have real money if you found a quarter.
I did. I had to scour the earth for that quarter.
All right. I guess we're burning
the mansion. All right, here we go. I'm going to regret this.
Yep.
I will. I've missed. What was the achievement we just got?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
You had one job.
Sorry, I wasn't sure what.
But with these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I have ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating, isn't she getting tired of it? But someone has to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems but this place where the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here, why won't it end here? If what Lily has said is true, then there's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to the madness before someone thinks of putting this blasted place up in the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people, run that estate company to the ground if need be. I mean, they're already broke.
Too bad they're going bankrupt.
Yeah.
I don't know about UK laws on bankruptcy, but...
Now, here's the dumb thing.
Yeah.
They're arguing... Now, are they also going to burn the letter along with this? Because if not, that's dumb.
I would burn the letter and the mansion with it.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been option 3. Burn them both.
Yeah. If we burn only the mansion and not the letter, I'm going to be really annoyed. We spent millions, damn it. Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I opened one of the drawers in my study table. Taking a bottle of liquor out for myself, then passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
This isn't the time!
We're all gonna have a nip and then pour it and burn it.
Yeah. Even more when I pop the cork off the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room, the smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more eager to set this whole place on fire. More than eager to set this whole place on fire. The blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hana, the small fire soon turns into an
Shouldn't we
inferno.
get the hell out of here? There's like a ton of books, too.
My thought was, why would we not get outside first?
Yeah, I know.
I'd prefer not to burn the
I'm pretty sure
down.
this is us dying.
Yeah,
in
oh
this
god.
room.
In a matter of seconds, we're out the door. It doesn't exactly leave where I'm hoping it will. Ya big dummies! Although ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs.
Get out of the house, then burn it. Also, where is Johans?
That's a good point. Did we just kill Johans? Oh my god, we burned the place down with Johans in it. Oh. Fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards, we also do the same thing we've done to the study. Door after door in every room we pass, pouring bottle after bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we've run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one off from many nooks I've stashed.
How much liquor did he store everywhere?
I'm impressed that he got all that set up so fast.
I know.
And there's no lack of it in here, the hard stuff, the shorts, the watered down kind. Gifts from distant relatives, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
All of it.
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You know, in the bathroom, the
You
shower.
have problems, man.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Turns out it'll be useful now. Not to drown out my sorrows, but for this wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can now say that it has also saved my life. But there's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, the place also becomes easier to navigate. As if it's slowly righting itself. returning to what it's supposed to be. Soon we finally find ourselves standing before the main floor. The strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we've previously torched, slowly filling the hall with thick black smoke.
I like how the smoke, you can actually see the smoke rising, which is kind of cool.
The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms we've set aflame.
The front door, and she's going to be standing right there.
Yeah. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Fittingly, that is when she appears again before us.
Told you.
Watching us from atop the stairs while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eye is the expression on her face. Not the vile smile I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one? Forlorn is the only word I can think of to describe it.
Please, help me. Help me, please.
Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is that merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost like the woman she used to be. And I don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The door's finally open, and through it I can glimpse the world outside. Safety. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her. A farewell more than anything. Why would you do that? For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me when I finally run from this horrid place. Quietly, she disappears. Light it up achievement. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason, nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's that one last look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only a calm, a stillness, the same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside, and with it is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxborn's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn at last. We are free.
I don't think so.
Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot.
I feel like we didn't solve anything.
No. That's why I didn't feel like either one was gonna matter. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxborn after the incident. Officers who investigated it have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy.
No, maybe they weren't already bankrupt.
A move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets of the Ermengarde mansion is hidden for centuries. If there will come a time those will finally be revealed, only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices where it once stood. Of cries and wails that fill the nights and desperate calls of help for anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls, unable to settle their differences, Yeah,
I didn't see that coming out well based on our choices.
But we did so good with her, relationship. Hunter Wright eventually files for a divorce from Luke Wright. For several months, they've become the subject of gossips and the mass media in the city. In spite of this, the two have uncharacteristically remained tight-lipped on the circumstances of their separation. Though many assumed its inevitable falling out stemming from the trouble during the couple's housewarming party. To everyone's surprise, however, Luke Wright quietly accepts the court's decision and disappears from the Evans heiress life without creating much fuss. Even after Hannah Evans has given birth to their child months later, the man is rarely seen around the family.
I knew she was pregnant.
Merely leaving his child paltry gifts in the mailbox whenever he's in town, never showing his face. With the Wright couple's separation also comes the Wright Evans conglomerate split up. Although the Wright enterprise still manages to do well in the business with Evans Incorporated back as a competitor, other tech leak places its CEO and the company under legal spotlight months later. This time, however, with the then Chief Inspector Harvey Lee's sudden absence, the businessman isn't able to escape close scrutiny. In an investigation headed up by LPD's Detective Inspector Ashton Frey, all of Wright Enterprises' illegal business dealings within the past 10 years come to light. Although his involvement with other crimes is still being investigated, the disclosure has caused a huge outcry, especially from the city's business sector. Sued on multiple grounds, the company is ultimately forced to shut down. Oddly, when Luke Wright steps out of his office one last time, there is only a small smile on his face. To avoid public outrage, saving your hide, the once affluent businessman immediately leaves the city. All of his bank accounts have been emptied, including his Luxborn apartments, leaving not a single trace or clue where he might be hiding. The last anyone has seen of the man was on a flight bound for Ireland. To this day, no one has heard from him. Not even Hannah Evans. Even his people from old Wright Enterprise, who have all been left to deal with the aftermath. Though, over the past few months after the situation has calmed, some have made claims of spotting him flitting in and out of the city, if only to check on those he has left behind. Her own woman. Following the company split, Hannah Evans reestablishes Evans Incorporated, becoming its CEO like her late father has always wanted for her. Though a bit out of practice and doubted by many people at first, the Evans heiress quickly finds her bearings and proves to be every bit as talented in the business as her parents. Soon, under her management, the new Evans Inc. flourishes, becoming one of the prime investment and finance companies in Luxborn City. Months after her recovery, Marianne McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she has witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it. Turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company and leaving her interior design company in Luxborn in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visiting to check on the people has become acquainted with in her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now.
I knew it! He went to Ireland because she's there.
By some stroke of luck or unfortunate circumstance of fate, Marianne encounters Luke Wright once again almost a year after she returned home. She meets the man in the local marketplace, newly settled, fumbling, and confused. Although her opinion of him remains ambivalent at best, she reluctantly offers help, especially after seeing him stumble on his Gaelic more times than she deems acceptable. And it becomes a start. Not to a close friendship by any means, but perhaps something akin to it. On better days, when vitriol and scathing words don't get in the way, there's only the pleasant companionship one offers to the other. Casual visits to the other's home, sharing a bottle of wine or two, and simply talking about anything under the sun. A comfort after the things they can no longer have. Something they both eventually learn to appreciate with time. Despite making the Ireland branch of her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxborn when requested. And after her work on the Ermengarde mansion, Hannah Evans has never trusted another to handle the design for any of the place she owns. Upon moving back to Evans' mansion after her divorce, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, and the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the socialite summons. Not only helping with the decorations of the old place, but also assisting with the renovations, much to Hannah's delight. Since then, the two women has kept a close friendship and business relationship. Often they can be seen going around town together when Marianne's in town, and the Evans heiress can be heard recommending the designer to her peers during parties. Some even may go as far as to say Hannah Evans has confided with Marianne McCullough during the tumultuous time of her divorce with Luke Wright. Whatever the case is, one can't deny that both women have found a confidant in the other. With help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own, something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back into making indie films someday, client work and small projects has kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. But while there are still nightmares with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon tune into reality once his time affords it. Unknown to many, Hannah Evans has also played a huge role in getting Zach's new studio up and running. But for all the latter's efforts to try and thank the woman, she insists keeping her investment a secret as she merely wishes to help out, having been impressed by his skills in the field during the brief time they've worked together. A working relationship that continues to this day, as he is the only photographer she seeks at every single event she hosts, whether it's a simple social gathering or a company party. Beyond work, they also remain close friends to this day, marked by frequent visits to his studio or casual talks over lunch or dinner. A friendship that only seems to grow in time, especially after the businesswoman's separation from Luke Wright. Both has never directly answered what the real case may be, but it's clear that Evans' heiress trusts the photographer enough to put her children, who are especially fond of the man, in his care every time she leaves out of town.
Did she have twins?
That's what it looks like. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbourne's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Anselm Village and the Ermengarde Mansion. With help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history, a move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of a history the future generation must never forget. No matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there's one thing that has shifted in her relationship with the people in their little group, particularly with Zachary Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions, she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience, or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought that some good will come of it?
Ooh, are they going to be dating?
Plus, I
really thought him and Hana were going to get together.
Yeah, and the ending kind of... I feel like they're a little all over the place with some of these epilogues. There have inevitably become things have become inevitably strained between Ashen Frey and Rebecca Gales in the months following her confession. And with their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart. That's like sad that they're not still friends.
Right.
Although neither talks about it, and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. Amidst her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlikely companion in Luke Wright.
What?
I am so confused by this.
What? Okay.
He disappeared forever.
He disappeared forever and has criminal mob connections of people dead, according to his butler and what we've kind of heard.
Yeah.
And we're all like, let's all be friends with Luke Wright.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Alright, anyways, continue.
While he avoids the city like the plague nowadays after losing both his company and Hana, he manages to drop by from time to time. Mostly to check on his goddaughter, Kylie Suarez, though the man still won't admit it when asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it'll ever change. But after all she has seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the former businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his problems, petty or otherwise.
I'm so lost.
I know. The friendship may be awkward at best, but with the grim reality of death having once shadowed over the two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. With her newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years, and with their blessing, she quits her job at Briar Realty Corporation and takes a scholarship offer from the local university. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough with the help from people close to her. And with her confidence in her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde Mansion. The images still remain in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terror continues to visit her dreams. She knows those won't ever disappear from her life. It has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. However, she's no longer afraid. And with a brave face, she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint a brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas. An honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Luxbourne University, Isabella moves from Salem Hall residence in favor of staying in a dorm close to her campus. Although Rebecca Gales quickly quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she will be missing her neighbor of more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she's become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experience over the curse, they have only grown closer.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah, Isabella leaves with the promise to visit every once in a while, and even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fussing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to a sister. More than a year later, once everything in their respective lives have settled, Zachary Steele and Isabella Santos finally hold their first exhibition together.
That's cool.
Yeah. A project that has been in the making for almost 2 years after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxborn's upper class and art enthusiasts. Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently, they are planning to hold their first show overseas. Yet, even with this unexpected, overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond being mere partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. Following his success in bringing the Luxborn firm case to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxborn's lead agency against organized crimes. An endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee, Abigail Harris. Wait, so Inspector Lee died?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Was that brought up?
Or is they just saying they fired him over this? Like he got fired.
I don't think you'd say that.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he died somehow.
Okay.
Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trust their judgment. For now, he has decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself and take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up, especially to those he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, but he knows that. But for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio.
Something's ever changed.
Either to help him out on one of his pet projects or exasperating the other man on purpose. Either or, it's mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll volunteer to model for one of Zach's projects, in spite of the photographer's reassurances that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later, to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they may get into small, trivial arguments, things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they've both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find in anyone. Art song? Alright. After a bit of fumbling and a few missteps here and there, and moments of briefly allowing their uncertainties to hang over them, Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos finally finds the rhythm. Theirs isn't a soaring love story by any means, nor is it a happily ever after, often told in the picture books the girl has only ever dreamed of having childhood. Far from it, in fact. Despite what people glimpse their eyes or glean in their gestures, they both know better than to cling to ideals. A stranger will say they're in love, hopelessly, genuinely, and there is certainly truth in it. One only has to look. However, what they never see is this. Beyond the soft smiles, fleeting glances, and gentle touches only meant for the other is a grief, a terror that never seems to lift. Constantly filling their nights with echoes of an unforgiving wail and unwelcome dreams that stirs either awake in the darkest hours of dawn. It has never truly left them, and it never will. In the same way, the light scars on Ashton's hand will never fully heal, or the horrid images in Isabella's mind will never fade. But they cope, in hushed whispers and tender reassurances, with light kisses and long embraces. When that no longer suffices, when the horrors become too much for them to bear, they have each other, a warmth to hold on to in the coldest of nights, and for them, it is more than enough.
That was terrible too.
That was pretty bad. All right, so that was a game.
That was a thing.
I So I'm assuming that we didn't get a very, like, a good ending. I'm assuming that we made bad choices along the way.
Ooh, we get a song.
Maybe we get a song.
I don't know. I don't feel like we made terrible choices.
No, but I have a feeling it's probably a bit like Zero Escape, where there's like a very specific set of instructions you had to go through to get the right ending. I would guess this is probably similar. Like, I have a feeling burning the mansion is probably the wrong way to go.
We could burn the letter.
We could burn the letter. I liked it. There were, like, the highs were so high, but there was, like, so much unnecessary dialogue. And, like, for a game that has so much, there's, like, so many reasons to go through and replay this over and over again. I don't think it needed to really, like, pad its dialogue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I loved the horror parts of this and the mystery. I disliked all the relationship building that went into the background. And I get, like, trying to build friendships and what these people do and all that, but it was over the top character development and over the top scene development. And to be honest, like, sometimes I just notice I'm glazing over, which is not good.
No, like, so much of it felt like I said, it just felt padded.
And I'm just like, for even a bad ending, I still don't know what the hell was going on in that mansion. I knew kind of what Rebecca was read and all those kind of things and what Ashton was looking for, but it didn't really, like, solve anything. I thought for sure she was after the man of the mansion because of the people from before. And I thought for sure, like, even if you got a bad ending, at least you would figure out the origin of where this came from.
No, I think Zero Escape is going to be the comparable where you really didn't know anything until, like, those last couple playthroughs. And I have a feeling it's probably similar, which I don't have a problem with. I just think they padded out the dialogue, like, more than necessary for a game that you're going to play multiple times. I mean, how long did it take us to play through this? Obviously, we're reading it out loud.
30-something hours.
You know, so, like, I don't think you needed all of the, like, scene setting, all of the, like, inner monologuing. The dialogue between characters was fine for the most part. I don't remember anytime the people were talking to each other just being like, oh my god, will you guys shut up? It was mostly the, like I said, just the setting the scene where they're just laboring the descriptions of these things.
But here's where Zero Escape has it on them, is it's so easy to get back and fix mistakes. This game, I don't think so. You have to replay the whole thing again and make different choices and remember what the hell choices you made, unless something happens at the end here where it allows you to skip certain stuff. But it's just,
well, and that could be. I don't want to throw that out there until we've seen it.
I was gonna say, I don't have kind of any desire to want to replay this without being able to skip stuff or have my choices laid out, or
yeah.
I'm almost at the point I'm just like, I'll just Google some YouTuber and ending.
Yeah. Because normally in these types of games, I love going through and playing through multiple times and seeing all the different things that you can do and how different things play out. But I don't want to go through all of the descriptive dialogue. It wasn't interesting. It didn't add anything. Mm-hmm. But again, the highs for this were really high. Yeah. Like, there were so many times that, like, you have this, like, extreme tension.
They had great sound effects and visuals and all those kind of things.
One of, like, the creepiest antagonists I can think of for a game with largely still images. They nailed. Yeah, they nailed it.
And just the sound, like the sound effects of her, like, that creepy, like, crackling noise.
Yeah.
Ugh. I did, like, nails on the chalkboard feeling. So, like, that stuff was great. Like I said, the horror elements of this game were fantastic. Let's see what the ... is.
All right, ...
Tio? Where are you, Tio? Tio? Please? She's here! She's still here, Tio! Help me! Please!
we killed the kid. That's a thing. ...
Shattered fairy tale. Holy crap. Again, when they're doing when they're in their wheelhouse. Holy crap. ...
Dear you, if you're reading this, this means you finished the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you spent playing the letter. The game is a passion project more than anything. We sincerely hope you delivered in bringing you one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is hopefully the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you liked what we did with this game, we would like to support us. Please consider donating to our Patreon. You can follow us on social media, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, man.
Killed the kid.
We killed the kid. Holy
God, we're
crap.
horrible human beings.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that coming at all.
What happens if you click forward? Just curious. No.
Wait, was this there before?
I think those are all your achievements.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Go back to extras. Sorry. What's the letter?
I think that's like a information thing. I think it's going to open up a website.
Okay. No.
Oh, no, that's the letter.
The letter.
Oh, man. All right, so that part was cool. Like I said, I really, when this game was at its height, like, I was so hyped. I was like...
I'm also wondering if there is no conclusion with this chick, because I was reading there were people writing stuff from the company and said, let's go letter 2.
Well, I mean, I wonder if they just want, like, another game with, like, this style, like another thing where you find a letter and crazy stuff happens.
I think it'd be a continuation of this game. I don't think, even if you get the good ending, I don't think she's gone.
Well,
that's my theory.
Yeah. So that has been the letter. Overall, I would say I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Like I said, though, horror here, like S rank, mindless, crazy, whatever in their brain dialogue garbage, like a D.
Yeah, I also felt like for a visual novel, there were a lot of like grammatical errors.
Yes.
A lot. And just like, it may just be because I'm used to speaking a certain way, but a lot of it, as I'm reading it out loud, I'm like, this doesn't flow.
And I'm just not sure if it's because of UK too. They might have different dialects.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I said it might just be me being used to talking a certain way, but it just felt like it didn't flow. It felt like there were a lot of grammatical errors, which is weird in a visual novel.
Could be.
But no, overall, I think it's worth a play. I feel because it's like what was it, like $10, $15 on Steam?
No, it was cheap. We got it on a sale at one point. I will have to say they have an interesting game coming out at some point. That is RPG dating sim.
Ooh.
This company does, and I just know Jesse Cox is doing the voice of one of the people in it.
Well, we'll be checking that out.
Jesse Cox and Dodger are two of our kind of favorite YouTubers. They actually played this game. Never watched them play it because we wanted to play it ourselves.
Now I want to go back and watch it.
But the company loved what they did so much they asked Jesse to do a voice in their new game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. So, but yeah, no, I think, like I said, I'd play it. Like I said, there's just a few flaws that I hope if they make another visual novel, they take these into account.
Yeah, there were definitely some points.
Especially a horror novel, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, there were just some points where I think if I was playing this on my own, I'd just be like, skip.
Yeah, we talked about that a few times of
like,
not wanting to kill the experience for you guys, but a couple of these things were just like, this is repetitive. Like,
yeah. But it was neat, seeing the story from different perspectives, going like back a couple days and like seeing, Hana all the way back at her party before, what we had seen with Isabella. I thought that was neat. That was a very nice touch. There's a lot here to like. There's just like I have one very specific complaint.
I think that's mine too.
So that's been the letter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you thought of this in the comments. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.